Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the 28th edition of the Lido Node Operator Community Call. We've got a massive agenda for you all today, so let me just sum it up and then we'll quickly get started. We have a couple of regulars like the Lido ValSet updates, the monthly ones with Sasha. We have the stVaults Testnet Launch, We've got Max, Dimitri, and Andre discussing that. And then we have Eugene discussing the V3 white paper. We have a dual governance status update with Cadmill. We have NT presenting the Q1 highlights of the community lifeguards. And we have the next evolution of CSM with the amazing Dima, as you probably were aware of the person presenting that part. So, Sasha, whenever you're ready, please take it away.
I am so ready. I'm just a regular, as you said. Yeah, just give me 1 second to share my screen. Yes, and now I think that I am fully ready. Hey everybody, and happy Tuesday. Is it indeed Tuesday? It is indeed Tuesday. Yeah, I'm traditionally opening this call with the news section. And even though it's the middle of May, we're gonna go through April updates actually, because it takes time for May updates to be prepared. So let's start. Oh, yes. So Pectra hard fork preparation. And of course, Pectra has been like the biggest thing for Ethereum community in the last couple of months. And as you can guess, Lido is not an exception here. And the Lido contributors did all the necessary preparations required to keep the protocol running during and after the Pectra hard fork. And even though the hard fork itself happened in May, by the end of April, Lido contributors have done all the pre-work, including the vote, as the one that you can see on the screen, that was needed to implement the changes on-chain, the changes that were developed for the Pectra hard fork on the Lido side. So all in all, everything went pretty well, and special thanks to all the node operators who have done a lot of work to make this hard fork go smooth. So next big thing happened in April was the Lido v3 testnet launch, and I wouldn't stop here as we have a dedicated section about this later today, as Sven already mentioned, where guys will tell us about what it actually is and how it can be used and all other details. So please just be patient and stay tuned for the next section. All right, moving on to CSM news, my favorite ones. Here we've got some interesting stuff. And first off, the proposal on future reward structure has been published. And I think that this is one of the most frequently asked questions in the CSM public channels. So the question is, how will the CSM reward structure change in its second version? So the proposal for now is the following. For identified community stakers, the fee will remain the same for the first 16 validators, while all the subsequent validators of this node operator will be getting 3.5%. And for permissionless node operators, all the validators will be getting these 3.5% with no changes in terms of bond compared to the version 1 of CSM. And I believe that Dima will dive a bit into those details, specifically explaining why 16 validators and so on. So for now, we can move on to the next piece of news about CSM, which is parameters update. So there was a snapshot vote on changing 2 parameters in CSM. So the first one is to decrease the key removal charge from 0.05 ETH to 0.02 ETH. And the second one is to increase the CSM stake share limit from 2 to 3% should the outlined condition be met. And the snapshot has passed, and in the next steps section, you can see what it actually means. So for the key removal charge, it will be decreased on the next on-chain vote, which by the way is gonna happen tomorrow, is gonna start tomorrow. And once it's enacted, then the actual parameter on the key removal charge will change. And for the CSM stake share limit, it's not that easy. And the stake share limit will be increased, will not be increased right away. It will be increased as it is said right here, if the certain conditions are met, specifically if all depositable keys of CSM will be deposited to, and one of the curated node operators will get first 1,000 deposited, 1,000 keys deposited. That is it in terms of this snapshot. And the last piece with the wonderful picture, as you can see over here, is the UI improvements. And so the gist is right now, Lido contributors are working on delivering the features that are required for CSM V2 into the UI, but meanwhile, they managed to deliver some cool features into the current version of CSM. And the most noticeable one was the monitoring tab that you cannot, unfortunately, see on the screen because something is broken. But this is another reason for you to go and check it out if you are a CSM node operator. And a bunch of other stuff that just makes CSM node operators experience more smooth. All right, and I think that this is the last one for today from my side. This is my warm, so to say, invitation to you all guys to join us in France this summer for our already traditional Stakers Guild event, where we'll be like sharing some insightful presentations, of course, traditionally, and just having fun. And you can use this QR code to grab your ticket and use this very simple invite code for registration, which is NOCC, which stands for Node Operator Community Call. Pretty obvious. Yeah, so I'll be very happy to see you all guys there. So go register, go grab your ticket. And I think that that is it. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Sasha. I'm gonna miss this ECC. It's always at the wrong time for me, unfortunately, but I've heard it's awesome. So coming up next, we have a three-part, maybe a four-part presentation of the stVaults Testnet Launch. So I'm going to ask you guys to pass it on, but we have first the intro by Max, then he's going to pass the mic to Dimitri with a demo, and then pass the mic back again to, over to Andre, who will give another overview. And after that, we're going to get the white paper, but let's start first with Max. Max, are you ready to share?
Yeah,
can
sure.
take it away.
Thank you, Sven, and thank you for our convoluted structure here. So let's go. My name is Max, also known by myself only, I think, as a modelizer on Research Forum, and I'm really excited here to present like an intro for the Lido v3, and particularly one of the core components here is stVaults. I'm gonna give a brief insight about like why it's happening, like the problem statement, and what could be done with this stVaults, our value proposition here. So first thing first, like why stVaults and what's new on the table with them. Like starting from the basic, like Lido right now as a protocol is a staking middleware, which like I personally think is pretty awesome, with great network effectiveness and extremely resilience risk set controlled by the DAO, consisting of more than 600 node operators with different mitigation strategies implemented, like bonding, like implementing DVT technologies, and precisely curated set with the professional node operators providing the reputation and the best effort to create like a most risk-robust staking setup on the network, by my personal opinion, with a great diversification not only among node operators, but also among the clients and the software utilized, and most importantly, governed by the DAO. Again, I would say as transparent as possible, with like all the voting happening on chain and all the methodology, all the decision making happening within the vaults within arguments provided. And this is like the staking part of Lido. Also, Lido have a stETH token. Maybe you heard about this. It's a liquid token with, again, amazing liquidity on the market, with more than 100 million of trading volume and 75 million of liquidity, with the slip ratio not more than 2%. This is like exceptional liquidity for LST token. And my third fact I'm going to share with you is not about Lido, it's about like the mid space, the whole board, and it's like super simple. The actors, as we call it in like game theory, or people actually are different, and they want different things. So the first things first, one staking solution, like whatever good or perfect it would be, couldn't fit everyone's preferences because they're different. Someone wants stake with particular node operators. Someone may want to utilize additional sidecars. Someone have a preference for technology. On the second part, the fungibility of stake requires unified underlying risks. And that means that if you are holding the stETH token, the only actor controlling the risk-reward ratio is Lido DAO right now. So if I'm willing to stake something within Lido, I couldn't directly somehow change the staking position of all of these stETH holders because the token is fungible. So its underlying position is controlled by the one actor here. And the question we've had there is like, could it be separated? Could staking position and liquidity be separated to provide actors or people the way to utilize their preferences and basically show what, how, when, and with whom they want to stake? And the answer is like pretty clear. It's stVaults. On the base primitive, it's like the delegated staking where the user or the staker could stake some ETH in stVault. Then it would be delegated to the node operator. And these entities, staker and node operators, control all of the staking preferences, like the solutions, the setup, the fees. All of the structure is like an agreement between two parties, the staker and the node operator, which brings this solution when the like plethora of staking opportunities could arise from the agreements between different actors on the market. And we want to add the ability to utilize stETH liquidity on top of that. We are minting stETH against the locked part of the stVault as a collateral to separate stETH holders and the risk position, which would be fully controlled by the DAO, still providing the liquidity for the actors on the market, expressing their preferences in staking within the stVaults technology. So for me, I see this as a major milestone for Lido, where it's expanding from a single staking product offering, which is like absolutely amazing, but it's just one staking product offering, to a modular, customizable structure where the community could build I would say infinity, like community could build the staking solutions for the community needs. And to go a little bit deeper there, how this is going to work and how this ability to minting stETH and utilizing the liquidity here, we must talk about the essential part of Lido v3, which is core pool, formerly known as Lido v2. It doesn't go anywhere. It's still here, and it would work the same as always. Users could stake ETH in the core pool. It would be distributed via staking router by the rules and policies controlled by the DAO across different node operators with different technology, with different risk mitigation techniques within the one staking setup. And on top of that, we have a marketplace within the stVaults that could be managed by the curators or node operators, and the users, stakers, who could express their preferences staking in different stVaults with an ability to mint stETH. And you can think of this as two separate streams, where the stVault is just a delegated staking, but adding this liquidity is actually creating a borrow market where users having a position in staking could borrow stETH against the collateral, but for this, stETH should be provided by somehow. And we see the core pool as a market maker on this market, with the ability to provide stETH within the minting and shielding the stETH holder from the risks within the stVaults with over-collateralized on the minted amount of stETH. So the core pool is like from my personal point of view, is like the major and crucial part for the system to work at its base layer, determining stETH underlying staking strategy, hence risks, hence rewards ratio, hence everything. Like again, base level token determining like the zero. I could say this, like the risk rewards ratio controlled by the DAO, unifying all of the solutions within the stVaults. And how it could be utilized. Again, we're moving from one staking product to like basically multiple products that could be expanded by the community. For institutional players, it could be a staking with preferred node operator within the preferred setups, maybe with some legal agreements, with additional liquidity in terms of stETH available on demand, for example, for fulfilling redemptions without any need to exiting or re-entering the validator or having some part of the collateral. For APR maximalists, it could be some elaborate strategy on top of stVaults, utilizing the ability to mint stETH and hence, say, using this as a collateral on the lending market and leveraging the difference between the vault setup users control and the overall market. For curators, assets managers, DeFi builders, you can add basically any sidecars, any strategies, anything you want on your stVault, still utilizing the liquidity and still utilizing the market around this. So I do think that's like a major point, expanding the protocol and providing a way for people to express their preference in staking, a way for builders to build the products on top of stVaults, and the way for the core protocol to remain the base layer connecting everything here. And I think two key points I like repeated like 5 or 10 times here. The first one, with stVaults, users could control the staking seed setup and still utilize, I would say, best liquidity in staking market. Thank you, folks. And on this, I'll pass the mic to my fellow contributors. Thank you so much.
Okay. Hey, hello, I'm Dmitry. I'll be next who is presenting something new about Lido v3 or stVaults. So first of all, it's integration and user guide that we recommend to read to get familiar about of architecture overview and the layers and interfaces to interact, layers to integrate. So so link to this guide will be presented in comments and also in description to this video. And also I would like to show you a little demo, short demo of how stVaults UI, web UI works. So let's create a vault. I personally will use my own address as not operator, as vault manager and not operator manager. Not operator is exactly literally not operator of the vault. Vault manager and not operator manager are kind of admins, or they are representing two main personas in the vault: vault owner, it's vault manager, and not operator. This is not operator manager. Also, let's set up 5% non-operation fee and continue. When I create vault, I need to initially supply 1 ETH. So let's do it. We need to wait a little bit when the vault is created. Okay, cool. quite quick today. Amazing. So now we have vault. We already have one ETH supplied inside the vault. Let's supply it more. So effective validation will start when we have more than 32 ETH in the vault. So let's supply 31 more. A little wait again. Okay, cool. Quite fast. Let's refresh the page. I see that, okay, total value of the vault now is 32 ETH. Our node operator can now deposit this amount of ETH to validators and start validation. And now I can immediately mint stETH backed by collateral. So our reserve ratio is 20%. It means that I can mint approximately 25.6 ETH. So let's mint, for example, 18 point something, and I will mint it to my address as well. Okay, let's wait. Okay, quite quick today as well. So what we have right now, we have total value. We have stETH liability. This is oh, okay. Something is a little wrong here. Okay. Anyway, yeah. Yeah. What's wrong? This is fine. Sorry. Yeah. So this amount of stETH that I minted. This is total capacity. My stETH capacity utilization ratio is this, and health factor is quite good. So this is how interface works. It's just a simple, very short demo. Where we're going to improve interface and make it full featured overview interface and kind of educational interface for stVaults during the testnet. So it will be more interesting quite soon. So, and this is all from my side for today, and I will pass mic to Andrew. Thank you.
Okay, one moment. Okay, I think you see my screen. Hello, everyone. My name is Andrew. Our team develops UI, CLI, and other off-chain services necessary for working with stVaults. And I will show live demo how to interact with the pre-deposit guarantee contract using the CLI tool, namely how to work with deposit validators. First of all, you can find the main description of the contract and basic cases with it on this page. PDG contract is a contract that mitigates deposit from running vulnerabilities outlined in LIP5. All necessary information with details of how PDG works can be found in this document. I will tell you about the base case using pre-deposit, proof, and main deposit with the participation of the node operator, vault, and pre-deposit guarantee contract. Considering the owner has already made a fund on the vault of the required amount of Ether for the deposit. This is happy path of use. So I don't see my tabs. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So I will use the Lido staking vault command line interface. This is tool for managing stVaults and monitoring their parameters. Here is the documentation. Here you can find a description of the commands for each contract that participates of stVaults. This tool is under development and allows testing the work of stVaults on the Hoodie testnet. In the future, to the mainnet, we will implement options for more security work with wallets, including nodes, etc. At this moment, for the testnet, it's enough to use the EOA hot wallet. Okay, let's get started deposits. I will use pre-generated deposit data for the demo. Let's check account balance. Yeah, it is account of not operator. Let's check vault roles. Yeah, this is address of the report of vaults. Yeah, now I can see all roles of the vault, and yeah, we can see that my account is not operator in this vault. Okay, next, let's check the calculated parameters of stVault in the moment. Yeah, this is address of the report. Okay. What it was this capital? Yeah, we see that the capital enough to make a deposit. And at this moment, we are not interested in other parameters, but here you can see other parameters for vault and some charts. Okay, the design of PDG contract assumes that an operator must log one ether in the contract in order to make a pre-deposit from the stVault balance. This ether will guarantee that the operator will make a correct pre-deposit with correctly specified VC. You can read more in the documentation. For now, let's check balance of not operator in PDG contract. We need to use PDG model. Yeah, it's my address. Yes, we see total and logged. Yeah, we can see that I already have logged ether and no free ether. That is because I made serial deposit before the demo during testing. For deposit, pre-deposit, we need one ether more. Let's top up operator balance model and write command top up, yeah, my address and one ether. Let's go. Yeah, I'm sure. Let's wait receipt. So long. Yeah, finally done. We see that this transaction has been complete. CLI displays all the necessary information about the complete transaction, like method name, contract, transaction, and other information about status, block number, gas used, etc. Okay, let's check the balance again. Yeah, now you see, now I have a free total and log only 2. We can use another command like unlock balance. Yeah, I have one ether. Okay, let's go to pre-deposit. Part of deposited is BLS. CLI allows us to verify the BLS signature in the deposit before you sending it. When sending a pre-deposit, the signature also checked. I will show a special helper for separate check. Let's check here and start helper. And what we need, it is vault address and deposit data. Yeah, I just copy my pre-generated deposit data. Yeah, it is pre-deposit data for one user. Was for pre-deposit, we need only one user. Yeah. Now I can see all is valid. Amount, deposit data root, signature, and on-chain verification valid too. Okay. Now we can proceed to the pre-deposit. For it, we need to write start PDG module like and pre-deposit. We'll use the same deposit data as previous command. Yeah. Let's check. Yeah, the same pubkey. Okay. Yes, I'm sure. Yeah, waiting for transaction receipt. Only what we need to for this command, it is vault address and deposit data. And it's all. One confirmation on the hoodie testnet. Okay. Everything went well, and the prerequisite was made from the stVault address. Let's check beacon chain. Yep, I have one more deposit for new validator for one user. Okay, let's check account info. Yeah, before I have 10 users, now I have 99. I spend some users for the guest. And let's check bulk parameters. Yep, before we'll have 34 either, now it's 33. Okay, and let's check not operator balance in PDG. Sorry, I need to read comma, yeah, of course. And let's show all balance. Yeah, now I have total 3 and locked 3. And let's check validator status, because PDG has statuses for validators that used in PDG. Status, and let's copy. Let's copy pubkey. Yep. And now we see that status indicate like pre-deposited. Yeah, it's always pre-deposit. Now we need to make a proof and deposit the rest of Ether to the validator. For this, I will use an already prepared validator for which a pre-deposit was made in advance. This is necessary to speed up the demo, since the validator does not immediately appear on consensus layer. Okay, I will use validator with this pubkey. Yeah, let's check status of this validator. Yep, this pub key is pre-deposited too. Good. Okay, and next step is proof. Yeah. What I need copy validator index A76. Yeah, this one. Yeah, validator index. And let's make proof. PDG model, right? Proof for this validator. Yes. It's a little bit hard command because we need load validator state from consensus layer. Yeah. Okay. What we can see, this is proof for this validator, this transaction and result. Oh, yes, result of sending transaction, and now we're waiting transaction receipt. Big proof. Okay, done. And let's check validator status again. And now it is proven. Good. And now we can do rest deposit to this validator to activate. PG model and not pre-deposit, it is full deposit. Deposit to be chain. Yes, and I'll copy deposit data. Yes, this deposit data for 32 Ether. And yeah, looks like all correct. Yes. It should be enough to activate the validator on consensus layer. Yep. Okay, and let's go check beacon chain. Yes, now I have two deposits to one validator, pre-deposit and main deposit. All is valid. Good. Yeah. Now we just need to wait activation. And yes, it's all. I think let's check overview vault. Yeah, for now capital is 1 because we spent all either two deposits. Okay, it's all. You can find the rest of the comment in the documentation and here and here. If you have any question, you can ask in Telegram or in feedback form or directly in the issues in the repository here. Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Andrew. That was great. We'll be sharing the links in, I think, the description of this video as well after the call. But we should continue with Eugene, who has been eagerly waiting to get started. Eugene, are you ready to share?
Yeah, ready. Thanks Andrei for presenting and Dmitry. It was like quite practical things. I'm going to present like mostly theoretical things. Let me share my screen. Yeah, I guess you can see my screen. So yeah, actually, like what we've been working on Whitepaper for a while, and we're ready to present like draft for comments. So we would happy to see your comments, like especially like we're really waiting for like node operators to comment on that. So here is like research forum. It's like called Lido with free Whitepaper FSC. And in the end, you can find like a link on a white paper. It's a HackMD document. And I just do like a very quickly run through it. So like basically like introduction, blah, blah, blah. And the like essence of Lido free, that's like on top of core pool and like traditional way of staking one-to-one, like we all used to, right? We have like a new way to staking like within stVaults. And actually it's also how Whitepaper is structured. Yeah, because you can see like stVaults section with like a lot of details there. But yeah, if you're planning to build like integration on top, or you're not operator that want to run your own stVault, it's important to like understand like this concept and how it's working, like what features, like what's from like different perspective. And also another important section is the core pool, because for sure like stVaults, it's like 80% of the free. Also with free, it's about like to develop core pool further to make it even more decentralized. Yeah, we have also like a lot of plans. So we proposed a lot of plans, and yeah, please check it out. I think it's pretty much it. So if you have like any questions, comments, like feel free to just post in this forum chat, and happy to answer. And in general, I think like stVaults concept is plus or minus like ready and settled, but a lot of things that we've not settled yet. It's like about reserve ratio, about like risk tiers and other minor things. So like happy to just talk more if you're interested, and yeah, just drop comments. Let's start a conversation. I think it's pretty much it. Thank you, Sven.
Thank you, Eugene. Actually, I have a question. Actually, I don't have the question, but I've seen this question pop up twice now. Node operators, I think CSM node operators are asking if they have to do anything for the move from Phi2 to Phi3, and I think that's something that we should clear up as often as we can, maybe.
So I mean, like CSM node operators asking like, do they need to worry about stVaults or like move there, or like, could you
Well,
elaborate a
they
little
they
bit
were
more?
asking basically what happens to the old protocol. We're calling it the
Yeah, it's there. Yeah, so yeah, let me get back. Like, so yeah, the idea is that it's like core pool. It's formerly Lido v2. It's actually all Lidos that we know and love. It's now sitting in this like blue rectangle. Yeah, and it's not going anywhere. It's a very important like a block for all Lido v3, because Lido v3 with this stVaults is like heavily relying on like Lido v2. So now we're calling it core pool, and we're not only like thinking to keep it, but also we're thinking about we need to push it more and make it more decentralized and make it like a more permissionless. So like core pool is staying with us like forever, and we're committed to like push it forward in terms of decentralization of operator set, and we'll double down on it.
Yeah, thanks. So node operators A and B, you can stay right where you are. Don't have to do anything. It's
Yeah.
all conditions.
Yeah, but you also can be like as a node operator, you can just start working with vaults as a like node operator C now can like be engaged with core pool, but actually can like open their own vaults and just like found like, I don't know, people who's interested in staking through vaults, or like other protocols that we need to build on top of this stVaults as a building block. So yeah, it's like provides like additional flexibility, but all stuff that we love about Lido, about core pool and models, will stay with us.
Great. Yeah, thanks, Eugene. Thanks to the entire stVaults team for those presentations. We have an OAT coming up, so definitely. You're good to go. Hey, wait a minute.
Okay.
I recognize the background. Do you have the same Zoom settings?
Sorta. Can I go?
Yes, you can. Take it away.
Okie doke. So, folks, first, massive congratulations on the free announcement, and thank you for the great demos. I have some more news to share and ideas. So the next 5 to 10 minutes are called to dual governance now. You may have heard about Lido DAO dual governance thing, but to set the context, what it is and what the thing is about. We are talking about building in like an ultimate right to exit for stETH holders, built in into protocol, like Lido Ethereum staking protocol, allowing stETH holders ultimately to exit with a bank, even in face of contentious or malicious LDO governance motion. There is a lot to be said about this, but like the contributors are treating right to exit, which is controllable by token hold by stakers, is one of the main design principle of DeFi. And like long story short, it is surprisingly hard and tough to design something like that for Ethereum staking protocol. Why? Because of the nature of very dynamic nature of Ethereum staking withdrawals. Basically, there is a queue, and if you like, and there is no way to exit a staking position momentarily. So it takes at least, if I recall correctly, 27 hours. In this time frame, DAO and like potential governance motions have like next to all control of their stETH distribution. We are counting on LDO token holders to like be making the decisions for good of Ethereum, for good of stakers. That said, if there is a way to design a like bulletproof solution for stakers to be sure they can get their Ether back, we started like we set up set up on a quest to make it actually work. And quite a quest it was. If I recall correctly, quite some time ago, I did an update on the Creator Community Call about dual governance project and what it entails and whatnot. So basically, designing the thing which, from one hand, allows stakers to exit safely and vocally, and from another is resilient towards potential like attacks and misuse. Oh, takes quite some time. So it ended up in like around 1.5 years of research project of designing mechanics and making sure there are no like leaky points and whatnot. But that had been done quite some time ago. So where we're now. After 1 more year of development, we actually have not only final design of the mechanics, but also code ready and a lot of other stuff, other cool stuff. If you may, sorry, I need to zoom on it a bit. Like it used to be like below 60 commits, and now release candidate has more than 900 commits in general, and this is not touching like actual deployment plan, scripts, and machinery. So what is it about, and where we are at right now? What is the best like point of entrance to figure out what dual governance is? We have like the improvement proposal published. It's available on QR code. So if you want, please take a scan, and you'll find a link to the document outlining technical design and a bunch of other stuff. So there's that. Code is very cold and ready to go. Parameters are ready, and I'm very thankful for all the partners who looked into that, as well as code, but I'll touch upon it in a second. Committees are almost packed, so we're looking to have a snapshot vote on committees markup parameters and release plan, like rough release plan to go up for a DAO tomorrow. And one more thing to note, we have passed a lot of test nets and whatnot, but we have made the final rehearsal of release process, which is pretty involved, to be frank, on Hoodie a couple weeks ago. So long story short, we are gunning for release pretty soon. And like right now, I want to talk a little more about how we ended up here and what it entailed. Some things to highlight and like the place to cheer for and send thanks not only to contributors but to partners. At the setting for like development, we have made not only all the research and preparation, but actually had 2 design reviews made by runtime verification and Certora teams that had been live on Snapshot last year, I believe. We worked on code and have both 2 audits and 2 formal verifications on bytecode level. So massive thanks to runtime verification, Certora, OpenZeppelin and StateMind teams for pulling through. And one particular thing we pulled through, which is pretty novel for Lido contributors, and I believe isn't as common for the industry in itself, is doing like third-party checks upon numerical parameters and model. What it means, basically, it's one thing to design a protocol and design a thing like as a blueprint, and there is another thing to figure what exact parameters would be safe to operate, and what sensitivity criteria and what a sensitivity corridor for that. So massive thanks to Lido Analytics team who have had a massive impact on that work, and shout out to 20 Squares and Collective Labs team for making different models and checking through a lot of like challenging our initial assumptions and figuring out if like numbers are good to go or not. Spoiler, we have like there is a big thread on forum in regards to numerical research and its summary made by Lido Analytics, but all 3 teams are saying that currently picked params are good to go. So there's that. Let me walk you through fast through release plan. So basically, the next steps, not touching the snapshot itself, would be to deploy contracts and all the setup to mainnet. Do the smoke test. So what we mean by that, like basically, with all the security measures we are putting, with all the testing on like mainnet works, yada, we still want to make sure that the contracts we have deployed to production to mainnet usually actually work. So what Lido contributors would be doing is before the contract setup is going to Aragon Vault, to like there is an emergency flow which would be active for some time after deployment. We want to trigger it with dedicated emergency committee and see if it works, and see if the whole flow works after that. So basically, we are planning to set up, once the smoke test is done, we are planning to set up Aragon Vote, which would shift the roles from basically access of Aragon voting contract, which is controlled fully by LDO token holders, under the dual governance's control. There is like 2 phases. First, have LDO vote, which passes with like the final step to the dual governance pipeline itself. And then if we see that dual governance pipeline works, and ultimately after the dual governance's time block, the execution of the last step is allowed and like is feasible, the rights for LDO controlled Aragon agent contract would be revoked from voting Aragon voting and would be passed completely under dual governance, marking the activation of DG. So this is the rough plan. Please ping me on forums if you have particular questions in regards to that. So as the next steps calendar-wise, and it's notoriously scary and like emotional to share this today. We're looking to start a snapshot vote basically tomorrow. Gunning for on-chain vote like through the whole plan by the end of June. And honestly, I'm counting on living happily ever after with dual governance protecting stakes straight after that. Thank you for attention. If there is anything you're taking from this short talk, I wanted this idea to be that dual governance enables right to exit for Lido on Ethereum protocol under the most adversarial conditions one could imagine, making like Lido staking safe, secure, and easy to use. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Cadmo. That was great. I think you said in an earlier talk that dual governance is surprisingly complex. I've always loved that. I've also seen a demo from an auditor about this particular proposal, and they were like just really proud of even like working with this code and helping you guys push forward. It's a really interesting talk. Unfortunately, I can't find the link to it, but we're having trouble sharing more links in the chat. So if people want to reach out or see these links, I suggest you refresh this link tomorrow, the YouTube link, I mean, and we'll have the links in the description. Coming up next, our community lifeguards, we have Enti and Sam presenting the highlights from the previous quarter. So Enti, I think you can share a screen whenever you want and take it away.
Cool, thanks. So yeah, let's see what happened last quarter. To start, I always like to remember who are we or what we do. It's right now it's only me and Sam, but we are a small team of very community-oriented operators, and we just help node operators in Lido in general, mostly CSM. On this quarter, or at the beginning of this year, we started by introducing some goals and some strategy for the year with two high-level goals. The first one is, of course, increase the target conversion of operators. Now that the CSM is out, that is permissionless, that it's ready to receive new operators. And the goal number two is to make sure that operators have the tools, have the mediums, the ways to use Lido correctly, just learn more about the journey, etc., etc. And this goes with a few other subtopics that are available on the report that I'll link at the end of the presentation. We did 10 appearances all over the world. That includes Solo Stakers Guild. We'll see a bit more about that in a second. In 6 different countries, including Malaysia, Thailand, Argentina, Singapore, Taiwan, and Brazil. Very, very spread. Then at the beginning of this year, we also introduced the community events with a Luma calendar, which is going very good. It grown a lot. And it grew 1,000 subscribers. It's more than 1,000 subscribers now. We did this quarter 3 workshops of integrations, including Sedge, ETH Pillar, and also Ethereum. There were 3 community-run events, run by just some of the close communities to us. We established 2 community CSM DBT clusters, 1 workshop from professionals from P2P, and one run table, and much more, a few other things. Here's a QR for the calendar. I'll stop here just for a second. People can scan it in case you want to subscribe and be in the know. Also, have a look at the event in the ECC. Next, the satellite communities. These are communities we work very closely with. Right now, we have 10 satellite communities. That's one more than Q4 2024. And in total, they all have almost 900 members, which is pretty good. It's almost 100 members more than the previous one as well. To finish with my section, then Sam is going to give some more information about some other initiatives. We also gave quite a bit of grants. First, Solo Stakers Guilds. These are also grants we give for events. These were 4. We also had some events in Korea, in Japan, in a side event in East Taipei with sponsorship, in the Philippines, in Argentina, as well as some tooling, some interns that just help us do some communications, and some very cool stickers that are already available on Telegram and Discord. And with all of this, we even managed to spend a bit less than the previous quarter. And now I'll pass it over to you, Sam.
Hello, guys. All right, Stakeosaurus or Sam here. So the next initiative has quite a bit of progress made. So the Lido Community Staking Tribes initiative now has 4 participating organizations, and these are organizations that sponsor staking hardware for their employees, for their contributors. And because of this, we have 12 new CSM node operators in the pipeline pending conversion onto the mainnet. And these guys will be going through a dedicated and tailored solo staking curriculum that will be conducted by NT and myself. Next is the Solo Stakers Guild, which we ran 4 editions this quarter or last quarter in Q1, and it consists of mainly of staking workshops and followed by networking mixes. And here I'd just like to share a bit more about our thought process and our vision for the Solo Stakers Guild. And we envision this to be the home of Ethereum solo staking enthusiasts, because we believe that solo stakers are the power users of the Ethereum ecosystem, and some of them even have good propensity to become builders over time. And so we collaborate with local organizations in each city to curate high quality in-person meetups, with the goal of deepening everyone's understanding and participation across both Lido and Ethereum ecosystems. So these SSGs often enable participants to explore the Lido ecosystem deeply for the first time and can lead to continuous and organic conversion of new users across the Lido ecosystem and potentially new inflows over time as well. So some examples, we have participants who purchase their staking hardware right after one of these meetups. We have seen people buying their first ETH after attending these meetups. Some community members are even large ETH holders themselves or have access to large amounts of ETH in their network. And they will be keen to explore Lido V3 down the road. And last but not least, we continue to cultivate goodwill amongst the community, amongst users and other Ethereum organizations as well. Cool. So basically, solo stakers can make both Ethereum and Lido better. That is the message that we want to show everyone. Moving on is the Net Promoter Score for Q1 2025. All right. Right, so overall, a net increase in the already high Net Promoter Score from 74.33 to 75.09. For those who are tuning in for the first time, there's 3 criteria that we measure. So quality of events, workshops, presentations, etc. that's conducted by the Lido community lifeguards, how satisfied they are with the quality of interactions and support, and how likely they are to recommend us to potential new solo stakers. All right. Next, what to expect in Q2. All right. So expect a steady cadence of staking content, online workshops, community events, and Solo Stakers Guild editions. Basically, what we are already doing, we will continue to do, and we'll do them even better. We will get all of the current participants of the Lido community staking tribes onto mainnet, and we already have more organizations lined up to join this initiative. We will continue to facilitate more CSM DVT clusters that emerge either organically or through a bit of nudging from us as the community lifeguards. And an official CSM guide that streamlines the user journeys for our CSM operators is underway. So look forward to that. And with that, if you guys want to get to know more about us, read the full report, find out the full details of what we've done over time. Isaac, can you go to the next slide? You can scan this QR code. Yep, and within this web page, you will see ways to contact us as well. Thank you. That is all.
Thank you, Sam. Sam checking in from, it's 1 o'clock at night where you are, Sam. Is that correct?
Yes, indeed. Yeah,
So
but I
yeah.
woke up very late today.
Don't downplay it. That's pure love and dedication. Thanks, Sam, and Isaac, both of you. Thank you very much. Community lifeguards, people. And up next, we have Dima closing the segment with the latest on CSM.
Yeah, thank you, Sven. And thank you for everyone who actually made it to this point, because this known community call was pretty packed. I will not waste a lot of your time. Let's just talk CSM V2 in the shortest version possible. Yeah, it works. Okay, so most of you, I believe, have already seen this picture. That's the gist of CSM version 2 features. And there's a bunch of things, names. What does it mean, actually? Let's try to break it down. And we start with what remains in CSM and what CSM remains. First and foremost, CSM will remain permissionless. No matter what upgrade would CSM ever see, including CSM version 2, CSM would remain permissionless because that's the core feature of CSM. No questions asked, and everyone would still be able to join CSM with no permissions, no conditions, no anything. Permissionless path would always be open. CSM would remain accessible with incredibly low bond requirements, with all the features around that, like community support, CSM guides, dozens of integrations, and more. So CSM will remain accessible. And for sure, CSM would remain the most rewarding home staking solution on the market. Even with all of the changes that are about to arrive in CSM version 2, including changes in the reward structure, even at the default reward structure, CSM would still remain the most rewarding home staking solution. So please save this picture for you, save it in your brain, because CSM would still be permissionless, accessible, and the most rewarding. But that's what remains in CSM and what's going to be changed. And CSM evolves for sure. So with the version 2 of CSM, with the upcoming upgrade, CSM will increase its security via extensive support of the triggerable withdrawals. There will be no place for systematic bad performers in CSM or those who are willing to take this stake and never exit their validator, so basically hostage the stake. No, there will be no such things in CSM whatsoever. CSM will become more flexible. With the introduction of the node operator types, we will have an ultimate customizability. So for each and every node operator type, there would be an ability to customize things starting from the bond curve, which is already available now, but ending up with crazy things like reward structure, specific penalties, specific parameters for basically anything. So CSM will be super flexible. CSM will become modular with the entry gates and extensions. Any possible integration, any possible product built around, on top, or aside CSM will now be way easier to implement. And even though as CSM is a permissionless module, all of these integrations are already possible. Not all of them are super easy to implement, but with this modularity concept and with entry gates and extensions, CSM will now become ultimately modular. And I believe that you guys will be able to see several extensions being released after CSM version 2, presumably including some DBT extensions, but more on that in our later calls. And finally, CSM will become more efficient with the optimized fee structure and optimized performance tracking. Each and every aspect of CSM, so both from the perspective of the protocol, from the perspective of rewards for both stETH holders and Lido DAO, and in terms of APR, all of this stuff will be improved with optimized fee structure and performance tracking. And that's basically it. That's the gist of what's going to remain and what's going to change in CSM version 2. I hope that helps, and that will make it easier for you to cast your vote on the upcoming snapshot vote that is going to go live tomorrow, where all of the details regarding CSM version 2 and changes to the fee structure will be put to the vote. And now let's walk through the most frequently asked questions so that there will be no blind spots for you at all after this section. And first is the fee structure. So let me quickly remind you that for the CSM version 2, it is proposed to keep the current 6% staking rewards for the first 16 validators operated by identified community stakers, while for the rest of the validators, the staking rewards will be 3.5%. So the question is, where does this limit of 16 validators actually comes from? Well, there's two aspects here. The first one is that real-world data. And according to the real on-chain data from CSM, early adoption members currently operate an average of 9 validators. And 16 validators is definitely higher than 9 validators, meaning that absolute majority of the existing and potential home stakers in CSM will benefit from the increased rewards for the majority of their validators. Also, it is important to note that operating 16 validators with 6% node operator rewards or staking rewards will result in additional $1,000 a year compared to vanilla staking, meaning that from this additional premium that CSM has to offer for the node operators, you will be able to pay off a decent DIY validation machine that you can easily purchase and build yourself in the course of a year while still keeping your vanilla staking rewards untouched. What we got next? Unified performance rating and the updated performance oracle. That's the thing we've touched a bit before, but now let's answer why an updated performance oracle is even required. So the current implementation of the performance oracle provides a decent idea about the validator's uptime, which is a good first step. However, there are identified cases on both mainnet and testnet where some node operators have demonstrated an acceptable uptime while delivering unacceptable or even terrible overall validation performance. So that's why in the updated unified performance rating, CSM Performance Oracle will now not only account for the attestation rate, but will also account for block proposals and sync committee effectiveness ratings. And as you can see, there are coefficients there, so performance coefficients, which means that Lido DAO will be able to precisely define a contribution of each duty into the unified performance rating depending on the node operator type. And for example, node operators validating from distant locations, or just identified community stakers validating from home might get lower coefficients for block proposals or sync committee participation compared to the permissionless participants who would most likely get a coefficients derived from the Ethereum specification. Now let's move on, and that's a tricky question. What would be the criteria to get identified as a community staker? And I don't have much to tell here because the exact algorithm is being developed at the moment and will definitely be presented later. However, I have a tiny little sneak peek for you. The idea, the core idea underlying this system is that to get identified, you'll have to provide 3 types of proofs: proof of humanity, proof of experience, and proof of engagement. Should all 3 of them be provided, your address will get qualified as identified community staker. But more on that in our future posts and future communications. And the final question, when CSM version 2 testnet? Well, the answer here is that simple. CSM version 2 testnet is expected to go live on testnet as soon as next month. Yes, you got it right, June 2025. And again, moving back to the previous question, some say that participating in CSM testnet get you closer to this proof of experience, but that's just some say. And as usually, in If We Trust, and if you want to get this absolutely amazing brand new set of Lido Lego, go join CSM and join us on EFCC this year in Cannes in basically 2 months. Thank you so much for joining, and thanks for being here till that time, because this call was pretty packed.
Yeah, it was, Dima. Thanks. This thing's really cool. I'd fly to Cannes just for this Lego puppet, to be honest. It's amazing. Dima, if people want to ask questions about CSM, they can find you on the research forums, I guess, in the CSM posts. I think that's where people mostly go. Telegram channels, Discord channels.
Yes, anywhere they want. So I'm always in Lido Discord. I'm active on Lido Research Forum. You can find me on Twitter and ask me questions there. So whatever fits you best, I'm always open to provide any information that you might want to get.
Great. Thanks. I'm going to ask the other Dimitri from stVaults to just share the contact screen with us one more time, because we missed that in the last segment. So if people have questions about stVaults, you can reach out on DM. You can reach out on Telegram in a DM to Dimitri with the QR code that you can see online there. So it's Telegram is listed there, and you can also scan that code. So people want to reach out, they can do that over there. And for now, I want to thank our live audience with us in the Zoom, but also on the YouTube live stream. I want to thank everyone watching, basically everyone watching in the reruns. I want to thank our chat. I got to thank the chat. That's what my kids tell me. And of course, stay tuned for next month's community call. Thanks, everyone. Have a good day.